to.
Joey's really bad at intros.
I feel
this
like
is how our podcast is starting right now. This is the opening.
I mean, it might not be. I might edit some of it, but it feels disingenuous to be like, "Hey now," or "What's up," or like have like a jingle. Like you gotta roll into it. You gotta ease people in.
This is a slow rolling podcast, Grant. Welcome.
It's podcast foreplay. You just gotta get people a little bit excited. They'll be like, "Oh shit, Grant's here." They read the title. They probably know that.
Joey's version of foreplay is very disappointing.
It sounds about the same as mine.
My version of most things is very disappointing. I don't know if you've picked that up yet from hanging out with me. Nothing is really great, honestly. It's just all consistently mediocre, which I hope is good enough to get through.
It's good enough to get this podcast going.
I think people.
So we're here.
We're here, and you know what? People liked the last one. I don't know if you want to like pat yourself on the back. So it should only get.
What? What did I do? I don't remember our last podcast. It's a really long time, actually.
I think it's been a couple weeks. People.
Oh, it's the post Hamburg. It was the story about me getting lost in Hamburg, and then it was the story about me smashing my dick.
Okay, I thought you were going to say it was Post Malone, not Post Hamburg. That would have been sick. If you guys had Post
We had
Malone
Post
on the
Malone.
podcast.
I actually.
Now for episode 6, GrandGrant.
He's still here. We're going to actually all get face tattoos together. I don't know if Cap told you about this before we started, but we're all going to do
You're
that.
down for a teardrop, right?
Yeah, sure.
Hell yeah.
You've killed multiple people.
Online.
Online. One for every 1v1 mid you've won.
All right, that's 2.
Man, then I've killed 0 people, which I guess is the right thing to happen.
Dude, I can get 1. Wait, I can get like 4. Remember that?
Yeah.
I beat you in what, Axe versus Axe or something
Yeah,
stupid?
I mean, I wouldn't like consider that a win, but sure, if you want to.
Is that really something to be proud of? You're like, hey guys.
I mean, Grant beat Fear, so you know.
That's true.
That means I can
By
beat
the
Fear in
associative
1v1
property.
mid-act. I beat BSJ and Grant with stupid 1v1 mids. It's great.
You should be very proud of yourself.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of you. I couldn't do that.
Thank you.
I don't even know what Dota is anymore, to be honest.
The reason we have Grant here, by the way, is that MDL's going on. It's going on here at the BTS offices, so I figured it would be nice and easy to be able to get one of our guests on. And the first person I thought of was GrandGrant. You want to know why, Grant?
Why is that?
Because I haven't seen you on anything outside of your stream or like a tournament casting. I've never seen you on like a podcast. Have you done a podcast?
No, not a big fan.
That's it, everybody.
It's more, I've seen your guys' podcasts. I like it. It's the same reason I don't do interviews. I feel they're all just super disingenuous, and it's like you're just gonna give the same cookie cutter answers when you could literally just go to my stream and I'll answer whatever dumb question you want to ask.
That was exactly what I was thinking. I was like, most people know Grant for basically you can ask him anything on stream.
Yeah.
You're very available.
Yeah, but your guys' podcast, I decided to give Cap a chance here. Don't mess it up, buddy.
Thank you. If anyone is going to mess it up, we've established it will be me, I promise. Like,
all right, I'll be
now that
waiting.
you've known me for 5 minutes,
I'm
you're
waiting
like...
for the one question.
Joey's the fall guy in this podcast.
It
if
makes
anything goes
everything bad.
wrong, virally, yeah. Like my image is completely clean from this. You know,
seems like it.
Like anything technical issues on him. Anything that shows up in the broadcast that probably shouldn't, on him.
It's on me. It's
I
not
have
my fault.
No responsibility.
You can just say anything and he has to edit it.
Yeah.
Basically. There's a lot of editing. You never know. There's a lot of bad words. It's
I
like,
go
ugh.
wild. You know, Grant.
Just make him edit it.
You know, Cap, he starts singing like weird lyrics all the time. I just thought it was because you thought Grant would say yes. So you're like, what's the minimal amount of effort we can put into like grabbing someone?
No, honestly, I think it's because Blitz and I were talking about it. I think that people like Slacks or Grant like actually make broadcasts. I think they're people that people will like tune in and be like, oh sure, like Cap's casting. I won't turn the stream off. But like when Slacks or Grant is like on the couch, I think people literally go to tune in. So it makes good advertising for our
You
podcast.
were front and center on like the BTS poster for the summit.
I was.
Yeah.
And that was cool. Finally, after because I mean, it's been 7 summits now I've done. They're the
Shit.
first person who gave me an invite to a LAN. That was cool. So
Now they're like, hey, you're gonna get ice cream bars next. Like you're gonna come back and they're gonna hand everyone with Grant ice cream bars.
dude, that would be great. I mean, I did all the content for him. That was cool, I guess.
Whoa. So going back to your first summit invite, like what was that like? When was that? That was like 3 or 4 years ago, right?
I believe, yeah. So
Okay.
about 4 years ago. Honestly, I don't remember much. I just remember I got invited to 2 events. Somehow I'd never been invited. I got invited to that and Galaxy Battles happening at the same time. And it was either go hang out at a gorgeous house with all the players and all my friends, or go over to China to an event that's very untested. And it was a pretty easy decision. I do remember that because I was like, yeah, there is no way in hell I am going straight to Cali.
As I recall, that was the Moonduck Galaxy Battles,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And that means you got paid more from the Summit event, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
so.
I heard they got Galaxy Battles. Was
Galaxy
not
Battles
very,
screwed
not
the
very
shit
nice.
out of
You're still
Moonduck
waiting
on
for
that
checks
one.
to clear.
Yeah,
They're
they
like,
might
oh,
be,
yeah.
hey,
honestly.
everybody.
Yeah. No, it was. I just remember that, and I was like, it's a good memory because of that. Because I can like laugh, and I'm like, man, I really chose right. That could have been like the end of my career, but it's the start instead.
Dude, Mott had like some like absurd like 36 hour
Like
flight
home,
back.
yeah. He had like
I was
7
like,
layovers.
what the hell?
And we would
This-
have been in the same one because he was in Colorado at the time. So
I was legit mad at Moonduck for allowing that to happen. Like that, that's just there's certain bars that you need to have as talent together. Like we all kind of like work together to make sure we all get pretty good rates. We try and like up those rates as the years go by. And
Don't call it a union, though.
yeah,
Don't-
God, I worked at
don't-
Walmart.
don't-
I
don't
don't
say
even. I'm
that
not
word,
allowed to
Rich.
even think of that word.
Can I do the Walmart cheer for you?
You can. I can do it.
Oh,
So
man.
Wait,
I-
wait. What's the Walmart?
Are you
shit?
not familiar? I only know it because
still do it.
I had an algebra teacher in high school who made us do it in the morning.
All right, you guys both seem to think you could do it now. Both
I
of you are
can't, though.
backing down.
I can
there's
do
like-
it. I
there's
had
just
to remember
clapping.
it. Yeah, I can remember it now, but
It's like
maybe
there's
I'll
like
do
a
it later.
Ooh-ah at the end.
Yeah, you
Did
just
you
spell
not-
out Walmart per letter with a spark in the middle. You say what store's the best, and obviously mine was 3867. What store's the cleanest? Ours. Who's the best? Us. And then I forget the end.
Wow.
Yeah.
Something about you got to get a squiggly.
Yeah, pretty. Yeah, the squiggly. You spell wall and then squiggly and then mart. You have to do the squiggly too while you're doing it. I love doing it. I would overdo it, like because no one wants to do that at Walmart.
Yeah,
Me,
yeah,
I would always say, "I'll do it. I'll lead the chair." I loved it. I was like, I don't care, whatever.
Did that make coworkers hate you though? Because they're like, he's the guy who like really gets into the cheer too much.
They kind of did, but I think they also knew that they would pick it random for someone to lead it. So if I'm just doing it, they're not getting picked. So I mean, they're like, yeah, whatever. this guy's an idiot, but he's our idiot.
I'm not gonna lie. That sounds like a lot like your approach to like. No. I mean, it is a little
Yes.
voltage, but it sounds a little bit like your approach to like the Summit couch and everything. Like,
Yeah,
you're always the one who just like is down to
down
like,
to do whatever.
say dumb shit, or like when it comes to the couch, like there's 4 of us and we're all kind of looking at each other like, who's gonna do the hosting? When Grouch is on the couch, I know exactly who's doing the hosting. Grant will
Whoa.
always do it. Grant does one of his
Whatever.
classic intros and everybody loves it.
You're like, I can just kick back a little bit because I know that Grant can take the burden.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't mind doing it.
Grant is the
Well, in that case,
sacrificial
you want to
king
have
of
him to lead the podcast?
Oh,
I can
trust me,
I can.
could. No, I'm just kidding. No, I like talking. I mean, everyone knows that. Like, I've been playing a lot of WoW, and I talk a little bit too much a lot of time. It's true. Like when you're with 40 people, it's pretty obvious when there's just one voice talking. So, but it's a gift and a curse.
That means everyone knows you though.
It's true.
So it might not always be the best thing, but like everyone knows
They
you.
know
You're
my
always
name.
talking.
It's true.
You're on the front of the poster.
Why do you like talking so much? Like, what about growing up? Like, were you a talker when you were in school and stuff?
Yeah, I almost failed kindergarten. Literally, my parents. I think I've told this story before. I was gonna fail kindergarten because my social skills were unacceptable, but it turned out my teacher hated me because I just talked too much. She's like, she had to go to the principals. If it's a freaking 4-year-old, what do you mean you're gonna hold him back because he talks too much? He's a 4-year-old boy, and I didn't get held back. So
No child left behind.
yeah,
even
exactly.
no matter.
Even back then. No, I honestly don't know. I just talk. I guess.
I
Maybe
didn't
want
even
my
know
opinions
that you
to be
can
heard.
not pass kindergarten. Like what kind of teacher? How many other people has she pulled that shit on to be like,
It was-
hey everybody?
It was actually me and my best friend. That's why apparently, and our parents didn't tell us till we were in high school that like we were gonna fail kindergarten. And when they told us, we were both our moms told us, we're like, oh, that's weird.
Wouldn't that mean that she'd have to deal with you again though?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I don't think. she
Yeah,
wanted
that makes
to,
no
but
sense.
Yeah, teachers,
They should just push you through and be like, yeah, we're just a kindergarten graduate. Congratulations.
Yeah, I made it though.
Yeah, I always avoided talking in school. It was my worst nightmare. To this day, I still have like PTSD from popcorn reading.
Oh, that where you like each person has a paragraph.
Yeah, and then you just like randomly pick someone else, and then it gets like oddly vindictive because you're like, I know Johnny has a lisp. I'm gonna make sure that Johnny reads next because he hates it.
I remember
That's
doing
screwed
it.
up.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right though. And the teacher always picked the quiet one too. Yeah, wasn't a fan of it either.
See, I was always fine with reading, but I was pretty quiet as a kid.
Were you
Like,
just in class and stuff?
Yeah, if anything, being a commentator and doing public speaking, that's like one of the many like fears that I've had in my life that I've just been like, all right, I'm just gonna make sure that doesn't hold me back.
I still hate public speaking in front, like literally. I enjoyed the doing TI at China more than in Vancouver because I know like you're just not gonna hear your voice ring. Like you say a dumb joke, no one laughs. Like right, we're not the main thing. Like I was actually Vancouver. The scariest time I got to do an opening segment. Luckily, it was at 8 a.m. every morning with BSJ, and it was just me and him. I'm like, and I'm sure it was just bad, but like. It was 8 a.m. No one was there. Like, I hate public speaking still. But only if they're in the stage. People are like, but you cast to 100,000 people on stream. I'm like, it's nowhere near the same. There's no pressure.
So it's the stage then? Or is it like seeing the people?
I think it's the seeing the people. Like, literally seeing them. And if I say a dumb joke and they just look me in the eye and they just, like, shake their head, I'm like, well, that's real weird.
So you'd be one of the rare people who would prefer like to have the panels and stuff like backstage where no one could see you.
People find that very weird. Owen finds it's like I love the crowd. The crowd's infectious. Like I agree, but you know, it's weird.
It goes both ways though because it's like it's infectious. It's great. It like gives you energy, but then also it can like that joke didn't hit, or why are people?
It can get in your head.
Why are people leaving right now? And the answer is probably because they have to pee. But you're like, do they not want to listen to me?
It's in your head.
Like,
everything's in your head for sure.
I remember like one of those moments where I was like, I've got to like. I have this thing where I always want to embrace my fears. So I'm afraid of heights. I've been bungee jumping. For me, that's like the ultimate. Like people say skydiving, bungee jumping is easily. If you're afraid of heights, like
why?
Because you're falling and you're getting close to the ground.
Yeah.
Like skydiving for me is like at such a height that it like whatever. Like, I'm going to fall, and I'm going to hit the ground, I'm instantly going to die, whatever.
Also, you're not jumping when you're skydiving. Like, someone's kind of pushing you out the plane the first couple times.
Yeah.
But bungee jumping, you're stepping off.
It's like being on a plane and, like, doing that sort of stuff. It's like, it's so far up there that it, like, the idea of falling is just kind of like, ridiculous. But bungee jumping is like, you're actually kind of close to the ground. And you, as you fall, obviously, you get really close to the ground.
What if it snaps? What if you're the one dude it snaps? Dude, I wouldn't do it. I really would not do that. I'm with.
So for me, one of the other times that I had to, like, embrace a fear or one way was ESL Birmingham, the first one. Red Eye had this god awful looking British suit on with the jack, the
Union
British
Jack
flag, the Union Jack, this Union Jack suit, and I was just like, normally I would just flame the shit out of this, and I was like, but then everybody will hate me, and I was like, you know what? Normally I would say this stuff, so I'm gonna say it anyway. So I flamed his suit on stage, and everyone booed me, and I was like, oh, this is actually fine. This is great. Everyone booed me and nothing bad happened.
It's the fact you got a reaction. Because what if you like flamed it and everyone was silent? Wouldn't that be like way worse? And you're like, oh god. But the fact like you getting that's I feel you.
My whole thing with the Dota scene and esports in general is that I feel like we don't have enough heels. Like if you'd relate like Dota to wrestling, like I feel like there's some pageantry to people like intendingly being the bad guy or being the person that is okay with that kind of heat. But it almost seems like a lot of people in esports just want to be liked or scared of any kind of backlash because, it affects maybe someone doesn't want to hire you if you have like bad PR. Maybe you don't want too many people sending you shitty tweets. But at the same time, like, I feel like no one really embraces the role. Maybe you can say like, oh, like PPD isn't scared to be like an asshole. But aside from that, there's not really anyone who embraces like, I'm okay flaming someone's suit. Or I'm okay being, the butt of jokes.
I would definitely say I had that mantle of like 2014-ish, and what you said, right, is you're scared to not get hired for a job and stuff like that. I mean, it's true, right? I still flame people. There's no doubt about it, but the depth and the length I'll do it at, like, you definitely have to hold it back because, as you said, like, if it's a heel, like, dude, you get some crazy tweets. I got some crazy tweets during Midas mode because apparently I talked over another popular commentator, and there's first set of death threats I've gotten in a while. It had been a while. It had been a long time.
You go reset the counter on the wall.
I did.
You're like,
I had to do it.
Shit, I gotta set that back to 0.
Like, because for me, I didn't really care. Like, the first TI, I went to TI2. I told everyone I was going. I posted on NA Dota. The amount of hate and, like, legitimate death threats. Like, I was actually scared. And I'm like, what is anyone actually in the Dota scene capable of that? And now, obviously, maybe. But,
Now,
like,
yes.
after TI2, I was completely okay because it was a lot of hate. And I was fine. Everyone was super nice to me, so it was weird.
I'm generally scared of gamers. Like, they might be a group. I'm like, let's get more metal detectors, everybody.
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten a death threat, Cap?
Like one you felt was real.
I'm not,
I'm sure
no,
you've gotten
I don't think I've ever gotten a legitimate death threat. I will say like one of the biggest like flame sessions I ever got was actually from Grant's followers.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think I've ever told you
What
this.
era is
Okay,
this?
no, this is old Grant.
Okay,
This is old Grant.
like 2014, 13?
This was 2014.
Pre-reform.
I was working
Yeah.
at Join Dota,
Okay.
and I would usually cover the NA games, right?
Yeah,
and like,
okay.
so sometimes like you would sneak into the lobbies all the time,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I was a fan of like your stream and stuff,
Yeah.
so I would like
Of course.
I had no problem with it. But, you know, like, at the same time, like, Joy
Which is
Dota
fair,
had a kind of a problem with it, or the tournament organizer had a problem with it. And so, like, I told you, like, one time, I was like, hey, like, I said something like, hey, I let you in for the last game, but I can't, like, I can't let you in for the next game or something like that.
That's fair. And I'm sure I went off on you, which is fair.
Yeah, and you said something, and then all of the GrandGrant followers just bashed my ass on Twitter. It was pretty funny.
You probably got
But
some new
yeah.
followers, though, that day.
That's true.
Maybe.
It's probably
That
like a
was- that
net
was the old
positive.
Grant.
It was. Surprisingly, I would say my fans are pretty low key. They like only
Yeah.
go to my chat. My chat has 0
Mhm.
moderators in it, but like no racism, no nothing anymore. It's surprising like if you don't have a bad community, like and I thought I did back then, but
Yeah.
it's definitely gotten a lot better. So
I think a lot of your community matured with you.
I
Yeah.
would probably agree with that. Getting older.
Can we explore that Pandora's box of old Grant versus new Grant?
Sure.
Okay, so I've asked you this question before, but I don't really remember an answer. I think you just said it was was there like no moment where you were like, I should probably change, like what was that like?
I really can't think of like one moment. It just like
Yeah.
clicked in my head. I was working at Walmart one day. I got home and I casted Dota. And I saw like I was just having fun casting it, right? It was like one of the few times I wasn't flaming teams. I was just like actually casting, like seeing how happy everyone got. I'm like, why am I a douchebag? Like honestly, I just thought I'm like, why? Like like notoriety, like we talked about before, like no attention is bad attention, but there definitely is. And I was just like, I did that, and the next day, I went to work, I was nicer to people, I got home, I was nice on stream again. And it's just like out of nowhere, I'm just like, what am I doing? Like honestly, what the hell am I doing?
Did you have
So it just
people come
clicked?
back at you and be like, why are you acting different?
Why are you being nice? Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so, right? Because the people who hate me will always want to hate me. They'll always be like, well, I want to see you change first. And it's been what, like 4 years, I would say, maybe even 5 since my last big thing. Those people still say the same thing, like,
Yeah.
Grant's not changed. It's all an act. It's all that. I'm like, there's no way to please them. So at that
Yeah.
point, I'm just like, I'm not going to please anyone. I'm just going to be myself now, my new, better self. Yeah. There
Would you
wasn't really
say?
just one up.
Do you think your life is better for it? Like, you know,
Yes.
getting invited to events and all that's aside, like, do you think your just general, like, day-to-day life is better?
Yeah, I think I have more friends because of that, right?
Mm.
You make more friends if you're being. Surprisingly, a lot of the people I was meeting to.
It was hard to be a Grant friend before. I was a Grant fan before.
But
Now I could say I'm a Grant friend.
No, it's true.
you know?
It's weird. Like, why? Because like, say someone like PPD, I met him in Han, and we hated each other. We were on different teams. We legitimately hate each other. And then like a year later, we were just friends out of nowhere. I'm like, why did I have to have that year to like figure out like to be nice to people?
Mm.
I don't know.
Do you think was this an online thing only, or was this like, do you think in person? Because you said you went to work the next day and you were nicer to people. Do you think like?
I think it was just for everything.
Yeah.
Just for live. Like, I still flamed. Like, TI2, I went. Like, it wasn't like I went to a LAN event. Like, I saw everyone in person. Like, yo, what's up? Like, me and
Yeah.
Sing, we still had beef. It was, you know, there was some me getting drunk, yelling at him, Bambo laughing because they were on the same team at the time. But it was hilarious, apparently. Yeah, I don't know.
You know, my embarrassing early TI moment was TI2, I think. We were up in the Benaroya Hall in the like suite, the side suite areas, and I was sitting with some of the NA Dota goons.
Yeah.
And do you remember Intel Style?
Yes, of course.
Do you-
Nate,
do you
I don't
remember-
want to. Yeah, I remember.
Do you remember him being drunk on Fireball and
Yes.
screaming at day 9?
Yes.
I was right next to him at that time. And I remember thinking, like, I was laughing. I was like, this is funny. And I was like, man, this is a douchey thing at the same time. I didn't stop it. I laughed at it. And I felt bad about it at the same time. But it...
Oh, Ben Royal Hall was great. No, that fireball he got drunk with, he got it signed by PGG. So that is a legendary bottle of whiskey, my friend. Now.
You keep that bottle?
You have to forever, yeah.
Why does it feel like NA Dota is still a dirty word?
Because there's, like, not a good representation of it, is how I would say, right? Like, what do we have? NA Dota wasn't a great place. I mean, it was a good place to bring people together, but, like, after it died, like, where do people go now? Just Reddit, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Like, there really isn't, like, no one gives a shit about any of the forums on any of the websites. Like, NA
I'm
Dota.
an avid Liquid Dota poster.
Are you?
No.
I actually used to post on there, and then, you know, the
Almost
whole ban and all that came up, and yeah. No, it really is. There's just not a community for NA Dota anymore, right? Like, slowly the players stopped posting on NA Dota, so then it was just, like, the real weird people, and then, like, even they stopped posting, and Spitwad disappeared, and I mean, he led NO Dota for like 10 years. So when your leader goes away, it's like, there's nothing.
How does someone become like a leader of NA Dota? Because I'm not too like even well versed on like how it existed. So it was primarily like a forum, okay.
It was just NADota.com. It was owned by a guy named Spitwad, who was like a pro Dota 1 player, and like everyone just kind of knew him, so everyone just followed him. And now it's like, I don't think you could anymore. I really don't think you could ever create a website or like emulate kind of what it was.
It was a very special, like, niche community at the time. It was like a combination of the community was small enough that like people knew each other and like all drifted to the same area. If you were like trying to play competitively in NA, you went to NADota.com, like you posted there. Like that's I'm sure like. Well, actually, the forums are gone, right? But if those were still there, like I had an account back then, I would only read other stuff. But the only time I really ever posted was on the team recruitment forums, because I was still trying to play competitively at that time. So
Gamer University.
Gamer University. That was like towards honestly
that
like
the end.
that was towards the end, and that was. Not a great. That was at the time where I was like checked out, but like somebody wanted to be on a team with me, and I
fuck it.
I was like, well, fuck it. I mean, I'll be on a team, sure, whatever. I don't care.
It's almost like talking about the internet pre-Reddit in general, where just all these communities had little forums. And you'd be like, I'm like a Homestar Runner fan. I'm gonna be on the Homestar Runner forum where I play Dota, and now it's just like, well, I go to Reddit and there's probably a subreddit for it, so I guess that's where I talk to people now.
Yeah, nowadays, like, the personality and community of, like, the R-Dota 2 Reddit, like, you're not going to get the same sort of things. That's what I mean by the community was small enough, right? It was small enough that people knew each other, and you got to build, like, an actual community together, and you understood, like, when you saw, you know, X person's name, you knew what they were about. Yeah. Like, Reddit, that just can't really happen.
Yeah,
so.
well, you're talking to, like, 100 people instead of 100,000 people.
Yeah.
And you're not scared to be like, oh, if I post anything, anytime, people are going to hate me because I said a word, so.
Yep. Sure.
That's how I've gotten my death threats.
Yeah,
is through Reddit.
Are you still a mod or no? Do you technically step down, or are you technically a mod?
I technically am, and I do still do. I do still do stuff, but it's more in like a advisory role. Oh, okay. I generally handle all the bad PR. So like when someone does something really dumb, I'm the best person to like step in and be like, "Don't worry, guys, I got this." Yeah. But aside from that, it's like not too much. It gets so tedious after time. I feel like it's one of those jobs that like if you're too into it, it's weird. Yeah. It's like, oh man, look at all this. I want to like exert this power, like make these rules or like punish people from being bad. Like those people weird me out, and I feel like we're lucky that we don't really have that on the Reddit side. That like it's pretty loose, all things considered. Yeah. But yeah, other Reddit communities, I'm like, you guys are probably doing it wrong. You should get new people.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't want to get into,
People have just built it up way too much into their personality, like who I am as a person. What am I? I'm a Reddit mod of X, subreddit. Ugh.
Yeah, and then like I hate that because I am one of those people, but not that personality type. So it's like there's a lot of assumptions about like, oh, he's probably just like a weird person who can't talk, and if you're like, that might be accurate. You're listening to me speak, so like it's so like maybe you're right, but at the same time, like the power tripping. There's no need to give death threats to people who just want people to not be racist.
Yeah.
It's not that much to ask, I don't think.
You wouldn't think.
I stopped because for a second because I looked over in the corner of the room and saw a guillotine.
Yeah, that is an actual guillotine.
Did I say that word wrong?
Yeah, I believe
Or is that like
so.
a
Yeah.
potato
I
thing?
I definitely don't think
The
you say
L's
the
are definitely silent.
Are you sure?
Guillotine.
I definitely speak a lot of French.
If I'm saying it, yeah, you're definitely in trouble, my friend. Trust me. If I know this is wrong.
Very well educated.
But yeah, that's a guillotine they use for King's Cup, right?
BTS was nice enough to like let us be here,
Yeah.
and like no one else is really. They're like doing
It's
some
a very empty
MDL
office
casts.
right now. Yeah.
And I walked in here and I'm like, is anyone gonna be like, who's this person?
And there just isn't anyone. Literally is no one here.
We should go play on the green screen. Where's the face paint? Let's do another Joker bit. Like where?
Oh yeah, they have the whole entire green screen area over there.
That
How
was
was that, by the way, recording that content?
That was something. The face paint was literally just kids' paint from somewhere, and they literally just got some random person to literally just use her finger and put on my face because we didn't have any paintbrushes or anything. And then the best part was, I remember I was filming the part where my shirt was off and I'm like fiddling it with the Joker. And like IG is just standing there and they're just like, they just see this bent over, like super scrawny guy. They're like, what the fuck is this guy doing? And I'm just like making faces and they're just like about to win the minor. They're like, who is this guy? Probably.
We got Dota to play. What's going on with this
Yeah.
weird? You did people didn't see you did a piece where you were in essence the Joker. You were parroting the new Joker movie trailer, which turned out really well.
It did. I mean, that's a shout out to the editors of BTS.
Oh,
These guys are absolutely, like, I told them, I legitimately told them, like, if people say I'm a good actor in the thread, that's a compliment to you. Because a lot of those would take like 7 to 8 takes. I am not a good actor. I'm a good freestyler, not like lines.
Let me say the Grant laugh with the rubber chicken, that was so good.
Dude, the worst part was in that thread, two people were like, you're a real good Joker. You look like a true sociopath. I'm like, I don't know if this is a compliment now.
Like I can't go to any movie theaters now.
Like,
Like
it's like you weren't even acting. You were just doing it so natural. I'm like, oh God.
Oh,
You're like,
no.
are these people ribbing me or are they being serious?
I took it as a compliment. I figure you can take it either way. So.
And then you were also in the Dota 2038
Blade Runner, yeah.
Blade Runner parody, and you were down to your underwear.
Yeah, I was just wearing a naked suit. I was just walking around in a naked suit.
Where was that? See, when you we're talking about when you made the comment, you tweeted about like, shout out to IG. I figured it was from the Blade Runner skit.
No, luckily it wasn't. I went to the bathroom. I changed, just package bulging out. I was just wandering around.
That feels like a humble brag.
Yeah. I mean, a little. No, I'm just kidding. Well, no, it was a very tight suit. I actually broke it. The zipper broke. It was so tight. So that's on me.
Wait, I'm sorry. It was a bodysuit. I didn't realize that.
In the 2038 one, it was just a tan bodysuit.
Have you never worn a morph suit?
Morph suit.
No.
Oh, we should get you in a morph suit to do something funny.
Okay.
My favorite thing to do is if you wear like a lime green one, like a green screen, you can just key the body out, and you can have a lot of fun with that. Yeah.
Okay.
No, it was fun. I mean, because last Summit I didn't really film much, and I'm okay with that. Because like I said, I'm not good with like planned content. Like they have a vision, and I'm not good at seeing other people's visions. I just want to do my own thing. So when they give me a script, I'm like, should I read it happy? They're like, no, read it sad. I'm like, how? Like stuff like that. But it ended up great.
Some directors pulling their hair out because they're like, I told you I need to do the line seriously.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh no, my camera powered down. Disaster. All right, we're not getting video for this one.
Well, we're gonna get the first bit of video, and then I'll edit it, and people will be very confused. It'll be fine. People mostly like the audio.
Our voices don't even match up.
Why is the video so slow? Do you like the way that we've been going with Dota, where it's like more content pieces like the Joker stuff, or more supplemental content instead of just like offline graphics or standby graphics and timers, or? Is it easier for you as someone who is like primarily a caster or like a personality to just not do that stuff and be like?
I mean, I kind of like it because it's less time to fill when people are watching that.
Yes.
But as a viewer, like I'll be honest, when I'm at home watching a tournament, I don't even watch streams. I go into the game and I click the watch tab. And if there's like multiple, like tonight there's 4 games going on, like I'll watch Twitch and that. But like, it's hard for me. People always ask me like, what do you think of this on the stream? Like, I don't watch streams. I really do not. Like, I'll go to Cav's stream. I'll go to, like, Zai's stream. But, like, I don't really watch them. I just chat. So
Yeah.
it's hard for me to like say stuff about streams because I don't know. Apparently everyone like this stuff, but like I really don't watch like any event streams.
I don't think Grant and I are really the audience because, excuse me, that it's the same thing for me. If a tournament's going on and I'm not a caster of the tournament, I don't watch it. I watch the games in Dota TV.
Yeah.
I wait for the replays to be up. I wait for like Dota Buff to have parsed and for me to be able to like look at drafts, and then if a game is interesting, like it looks interesting to me, I see something that I haven't seen before and want to watch that in game, or a team that I think I should study, I'll do that. But otherwise, it's like I would much rather play Dota.
I feel like
than
that's
watch it.
Yeah, I feel like that's not an uncommon opinion though. Like you're almost presenting yourself as outliers, and yeah, ultimately more people do watch the BTS stream.
Yeah.
But Dota is so unique in the way that people care about the nitty gritty and care about actually being in the game and like wanting to click on that Marana. I can't think of the amount of times where I'm just naturally watching a stream and I try and like click to see someone's items and I'm like, Joey, you're a fucking idiot. Like, what are you doing?
The stream and it buffers. Yeah. No, it's true. And we're blessed, right? Because does League still have the replay option? Did they finally get it like last year or something?
Yeah,
they finally have the sandbox replay. Like,
yeah, they made that, but I still think that most of their culture, and I'd say most esports culture in general, is just like, let's watch the stream.
It's Twitch.
So.
Yeah, Twitch is the culture.
We need that being said, there is that part for the people who play the game, but there is a lot of people who don't play the game and only watch, and I feel like that is a large part of our audience, and I don't know if I can really connect to them so much. Like I understand it in theory, but for me, my life is still wrapped up in playing Dota all the time that I can't really envision just watching Dota anymore.
So you're telling me that we can't really connect to each other? Is that
we can connect in other ways?
Okay,
Joey.
great, thank you. It makes me feel a lot better. I'm gonna be honest.
Again, remember the name of the podcast is Side Pull.
We got to work that in at least once. The people who help us like make this thing, they're like, man, you guys really dwell on that, and I'm like, it's funny, right? And they're like, yep,
Okay, move on.
Yeah, move on. What else can we talk about? Not penises. Fuck. I didn't watch a single game of the minor.
The summit for me is like the one event that I will watch if I'm not a part of, which, this time I was blessed enough to be a part of a summit, but summit's usually the only event that I actually watch that I'm not there for. And it's mostly just because the pros come
Pro
on.
player inside, for sure.
Yeah.
You can listen to
Grant
them
and
talk.
Slacks panels. Again, like Grant and Slacks panels I'll watch because I know they're going to make me laugh. So
just go either super shit show or like super like I thought
yes.
weren't. I mean, that was this summit. There weren't as many, but like we had one couch that was Rioya and Spartan, and I thought that was probably the best one we had because like they've just no nonsense. They just tell you exactly. And you're like, oh shit. When you can learn on the fly, it's pretty great.
So what makes it good for you then is like when those players are brutally honest and just like straightforward with the gameplay.
Yeah, I love when like one of them tells me to shut the hell up and stop clowning around because they want to talk Dota mechanics. I'm always down for that. Like it does not hurt my feelings. I'm always down to learn something new.
Yeah.
And those dudes, like people like Rioya who literally like 1v1 Arteezy, like you're gonna learn a lot more from them than like just watching a streamer. Like if you just listen to what they say now, well, you're gonna learn a lot more than just memeing, I guess.
Roya definitely kept picking little mechanic stuff that like I thought that was really cool how he was able to do that nonstop. I felt like I learned a decent amount from his cast. Saberlight was pretty good too.
Yeah, he was great.
He was great on the couch.
Rest in peace to his dreams on that team, though.
Dude, I called it too. I remember Blitz asked me. He's like, he asked me, "Do you think they'll kick Saberlight?" And I said, my judgment was entirely based off that last game that they played, like where they literally just, and it's not his fault, but they literally just like
left.
They said because most of the tournament they'd been playing around him. I felt like they'd been setting him up for success, and he looked good as a result. And then that last game, they're getting stomped by IG, and it just seemed to me like they were like, "Fuck it, we're not actually helping you at all this game, Saberlight. We're gonna try and protect our safe light as much as possible.
But if you win, maybe you'll get an invite."
And Saberlight's just left out to like this terrible game as it was Legion.
Yeah, it
right?
was real bad.
It was just he had no he couldn't do anything. In
he
that
was
game.
worse than a support. Yeah, it was bad.
And there's only a little bit of it that was his fault. He was just set up to fail. And for me, I was like, that's a sign of like, all right, we're not sticking around for this guy.
Like everyone else knew. They're like, it's fine. Like it's fine.
Yeah. Well, and then like a day after they announced they weren't. So it sounded like they already had someone in mind. If they win the minor though, like that would have been interesting. Because it sounded like they'd had someone in mind. But if you do that, you can't really change when you just want to land. But who knows?
I'm not asking you to leak. Do you know who they have?
I do not.
Okay, I don't know either. I haven't.
You aren't
going to
ask me, do you not? I mean,
oh yeah. By the way, new rule on this podcast. It's the no Reddit rule. If I see you posting on Reddit, I'm not gonna leak any new stories. I'll give you guys the behind the scenes shit, but and I'm okay if it gets passed around. Just don't let it show up on Reddit specifically. You can post when somebody posted posted on Reddit with the last one was the ESL thing. Posted on Reddit with like, here's this funny story of Cap, smacking his dick.
Not like that. Cap hates his employers, never hire him again.
Don't do that.
And that about sums up why I never do interviews, because shit like that, like literally, and it's something else.
It's way too fragile. I'm hoping that people are amicable to that. Surely, we have highbrow listeners.
Yeah, all you have to do is just make sure it's not in the title of the Reddit post, because then tournament organizers won't know. They don't. Or other talent, for example. If I'm riffing on some other talent, just don't put it in the title. That's all I care about.
As long as it's not written out, because
that's whatever.
People just they upvote the title based on the title. They don't actually listen.
That's what so many people do. So many people don't actually listen to this stuff or look into the article. Think about how many news articles on Reddit end up going really high and just are wrong, but everyone just keeps on upvoting it because no one's actually reading it.
It's actually insane, too, the position that it gets on Reddit and, the exponential growth. Number 1 legitimately gets about 20 times more clicks than even number 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, if you have the difference between even being, number 3 and, number 10 is crazy, the amount of traffic you get. Which is why so many people try and cheat the system. Yeah, which is why if someone has a title line, Cap hates ESL, at the top, so many more people are going to see it, and then you don't get hired.
Drama sells. That's what it is.
For real, though, the thread didn't say I hated ESL or anything. There wasn't anything really wrong with it. But for me, just treading the line, I just, I know I'm going to keep saying some behind the scenes stuff, and as long as you guys just don't post on Reddit specifically what I'm saying bad about somebody or some org in the scene, then that's all that matters.
So at that point, let's dish on the summit, because, we're just right here, right? So
the summit!
I'm pretty sure that LD and Gods may be within earshot if we talk loud enough, so.
Definitely are.
Summit was great, but unfortunately, the summit, maybe because I was a part of it, but I felt like the summit wasn't like the normal summit of the past.
Yeah.
I think most of it was the teams. We didn't have
more people on.
Yeah, we didn't have a whole lot of players on.
Would you say it's because it's the DPC event, or? Possibly?
Yeah, probably in part ways.
I think also, for me, I love the summit, and I think it's always great. But I agree, some of the players, it was oh man, it was so cool because it was this thing you got to go to. But now we're on Summit 11 now, some of the people don't like being in close proximity with each other, right? I know some of the top.
I kicked this person a week ago. Now we have to be in the same building and hang out.
Literally, I know some teams just don't like doing it because of that. Even though it's a friendly tournament, obviously you don't want to go to a friendly tournament. It's this guy you hated is literally one door next to you, and if every time you open the door you have to go get water, and he's just right there, it's it's kind of weird.
So you're saying we're never going to see EG and OG at a summit together?
I don't know. Probably not.
Make it a major, and then they'll have to come right.
Exactly.
You'll have more English-speaking talent.
Everything seems to be the case in Dota.
Yeah. I was gonna I feel like I watched the first 6 summits almost to completion, and it may have something to do with the fact that I do genuinely have less time to watch Dota now than I used to. But I don't know if it's losing any of its luster because there's so many, or because there's different talent, or
it's weird because if you go and look at the summit's doing a lot of different stuff in fighting games and Smash, the first Smash Ultimate, the biggest viewership for an Ultimate tournament, it really is because it's fresh, it's something new, right? And now that it's not truly new in Dota, I'm sure BTS might know this as well. It's hard, right, to keep doing something fresh when you already have a model, right? It's a house, we're all super close, we're all really here. How do you make that different for the players, for the community? I think it is it's really hard to do.
And that's probably why I felt this summit was a little bit different for me. It's to be clear, it felt from my perspective working it, that it was the BTS cast you know, like we were pretty much doing the whole thing, and that we were the show. Whereas in the past, I felt like watching summits, a lot of it was about the players. Like every single time I would tune in, there'd be Blitz, and he would be on with Sumail and Arteezy, and I'd be like, oh shit, I gotta watch.
I never
this,
see this because
yeah, and unfortunately, like it being a minor, and then also we just had a lot of teams that either couldn't or didn't want to be on the couch, that we just didn't have a lot of players, and having the players is really what makes it new and fresh and exciting, is that you don't get to hear from this person either very often or maybe at all. You've never heard like this. That's for me why there was such a bright light on Saberlight for this tournament, because you've never heard him, and so it was cool seeing him on, and all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, this kid's got a this guy's got a personality. He just said that Epstein didn't kill himself to sign out a broadcast. I was like, this is dang.
Well, you do have to remind everybody that he really didn't kill himself.
Yeah, that's true. So, you know.
Obviously, dude, when he said that, I was like, oh my god. No one, I guess no one heard him because no one cared. I'm like, whatever, I guess we'll just pretend it didn't happen. Sure. Super funny, actually.
It was really funny.
You showed restraint instead of leaning in. I feel like maybe old Grant would have just leaned into that real hard and been like, "Of course,
of course." Now, he signed it off. I'm like, "Whoa, okay, well, cut to break. See you later."
All right, everybody.
Hopefully,
go put something in front of the camera. And be like, "We're gone."
Dude, yeah, it was fun. No, Summit is always fun, but it is tough, and especially because it is the minor, right? Like, I know in the past, like the last one EG went to, it's like they told Bulba he's not allowed to be on the couch because he wants to tell what the people want to hear. But his team doesn't want him to tell, like, all their strategies, right? So I think it is a lot different. Like, it was literally like, Bulba, you can't go to the couch.
That makes it so then he did do something in the past he didn't like, his team didn't like them?
Yeah, like, he talked about, like, I think it was, like, the pick order. Like, they enjoyed first pick over second pick when teams still didn't even know that, and he, like, just gave it away.
Yeah,
so now teams were like, well, we're just going to take that pick. And
let me tell you, as somebody who knows Bulba, I always tune into Bulba broadcasts because I'm like, he's about to say some real good shit, and I'm going to learn something great.
You'll think he's meaning because it's Bulba saying it, but, like, he'll say it as a joke, and you're like, no, he means that. It's actually real smart, but people won't realize.
Players like hoard information in Dota. There was this like time that like Blitz posted this thing about why like playing the enemy jungle and stuff. Like that was like 2 or 3 years ago. And the funny part was like when this stuff goes out there, like everyone reacts like it's common knowledge, but like Bulba told Blitz, he was like, dude, you need to delete that video. Like there's way too much information there. And you know, like, and then all the comments in the video, well, this is obvious.
No one actually knew anything.
Players hoard information.
I'm sure that would also make it better. Like, just delete the video. Like, surely that will just put a bigger spotlight on it.
More than likely, yeah.
But I know Bulba wasn't the only one. I think a couple people told him, like, yo, that information is not everyone knows this stuff that you're putting out there right now among the pro players, you know?
Yeah.
So
I mean,
that's why it's so important to hold on to that.
Yeah, like OG didn't know you could skip towns at TI. Like we were at Dream League and they're like, Owen or Fogg told them that, and they just like looked bright, like, wait, you could actually do that? And they just won TI and they didn't even know you could like there's a lot of hidden shit out there still, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I hope that they do keep the summit. I hope that if people were less thrilled about the summit, that like Valve isn't soured on it, because I do think it was cool that they let it live this year by giving it minor status.
Oh yeah, and they had a crowd here, which was sick. I thought that was great.
I mean, I think if anything, the fact that BTS successfully put on a live crowd, in my humble opinion, I think Summit is one of the best productions out there, and I think it should be a major. I don't know if BTS won something like that, but like, and then that would also solve the problem of like, you know, actually getting some of the players, you know, bigger name players on the couch and stuff like that. But
I'd be scared from a business perspective if I was BTS of now having all these people who know what our business address is and being like, oh,
it's out there. Yeah, it's out there on Google now.
Oh, well then, never mind. Someone can just look it up.
They're registered business with their you can find it pretty easy.
Now people are just going to look it up. LD is going to get an email saying, like, your business just had 5,000 views in the last week and be like, what
the hell?
What happened?
No.
I am impressed with their studio, though. I'm just going to, like,
This
casually
is
walk
great
around
having
while
a
no
crowd,
one's
too,
here.
because we don't have NA lands anymore. Like, we really don't. So I had a bunch of people just Twittered him like, oh, dude, I can't wait to see you. And I'm like, oh, only 75 people got on, but all these people are tweeting. It was cool to actually, like, see people that you're never going to see because there are no tournaments in NA. They're just aren't anymore.
Let alone in Los Angeles. There's there's no esports in LA.
Exactly. We might have a ESL New York every other year, but
maybe something
normally.
in Boston or
Moo's parents came.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of Moo's mom.
Moo was not in the tournament, but Moo's parents came.
Yep.
They planned out a vacation to California in time with the summit, so they could be here. And then J Storm qualified for the major instead, and so he wasn't here. And
it's like, Mom, you didn't have faith in me that I was going to make a major. You decided to do the minor instead. What the fuck, Mom?
I mean, that is I think the coolest part is that his parents are so into his career and they've gotten so into Dota that they're down to be here, despite their son not actually being here. And they're going to do the same thing for TI apparently. Yep. They're planning a trip to Sweden for TI. And Moo's like, but what if I don't make it? And they're like, well, you can come with us or not, but we're going either way.
You'll have to pay for your ticket, but you can come.
Yeah, honey. Maybe we can share a hotel room.
So shout out to them. I think that's great.
It is.
Yeah, I didn't come. I was like, I should have. I'm like, there's an event in LA. I live in LA. This never happens. I should come, and then there's 70 tickets.
Yeah, tickets are tough.
Do I buy a ticket? Do I just message like Hotbin and be like, hey dude, what the fuck? And then I'm like,
yeah, we could have gotten you in.
Probably I could have been like, hey, can someone do me a favor? But I never want to be that person that feels weird, right?
Yeah.
Just be like, hey, I don't want to use my remarkably small amount of status to be like, hey, can I come hang out?
Come see a day of the summit.
Can I see the studio? How you guys doing?
Yeah. That's on me. I should have proactively
been like, hey, I need a +1. Oh, is your girlfriend coming? No, it's just the Reddit guy
with the lead.
No, it's not even that, Joe. You don't need like a badge or anything. This is a very chill event. I literally could have just walked you through the door. It would have been as simple as that.
Shit, I should have just showed up then. It was on Google Maps. Why didn't more people just try to come?
Yeah, I don't think they'll like you saying that one.
yeah, great. Now they're gonna have to have. That's gonna be the Reddit thread that people can't make.
Don't make that Reddit thread. God damn it.
I'm glad that you had a good time at your first summit.
Oh yeah, I had a great time. I love. I mean, I call the Dota talent my family, and I feel that way. I like everybody, almost everybody that works in.
I'm gonna ask you who you don't like later.
I love working with them. I mean, there's nobody that is tier 1 or tier 2 that you're regularly going to see. I think most of the time the people that are I'm not totally sure about have just gotten phased out. So
they know they're listening to this and they'll be like, "Oh no, what did I do wrong?"
I mean, honestly, as long as you're just a genuine person, there's.
I feel like there's a high bar for some people.
The only thing that only times I'm not sure about people is is I feel like they're using Dota and casting for their own, not their own gain, but they're just here because the popularity.
Yeah.
That's the only time I feel that way, and those people always get phased out because Dota's a pretty hardcore game. So you have to love it because people will tell.
Yeah, I guess that is a good point, and you do see those people if you go back and be like, oh yeah, they were there for a minute, now they're not, and the people who persist are the people that the people like at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
I did see that IG won the minor.
They did.
Does that mean that I feel like Sans VG last year, who won a minor and then proceeded to win a major. All the teams who win minors never are that competitive.
No, there's I mean, Vici Gaming did it right, minor to major. Yeah. But
so there's an example of doing well. I think eHome did well when they won a minor.
I guess NIP was never really that competitive at majors. They won a lot of minors.
They won. I know they won Dota Pit, and then they went on to not have a very good time at the next major.
Yeah. I think part of the problem could just be that there's such little time for you to because you have to go straight from the minor almost straight to the major. Basically, some teams just stay where they're at for 2 extra days and then just go straight to the event.
And then imagine all the research the other teams can. They can just watch
way more
all the games you played in the minor and be like, I know what they like to do before the major starts. So I feel like there is the disadvantage of just having all your information out there in the public.
I agree, and I think especially for this first major, because all the tier not all the tier 1s, but 4 of the top teams are sitting out. So the lower tier teams right now, they're going to do all that research. This is their one chance. You win this one major, you're going to TI already. You could sit out the next 9 months. And you're still going to TI if you just do good right here. So
does that mean the system's broken in your opinion? that you can just like win a major at the beginning when no one's really playing and be like, "Hey guys, cash my TI ticket. I'll see you in Stockholm."
I definitely think it's weird. I don't think it's broken because obviously if you win it, like how many? It's 12 direct invites, right? To TI now or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's 5 majors.
Yeah.
I think having like those 5 teams there is cool. Like you just see like who won throughout the year, who's good. It's kind of like a culmination of the Dota season, which I kind of like. It is weird though.
The only thing I think it's broken about it is that you could be dope on the previous patch.
Yeah.
And do well at this major and go to TI and then just be garbage at the next
Literally
patch
last
and still
place.
go to TI.
Yeah, I agree. Which could happen now, right? Because we're guaranteed a new 2-hero patch right after the major. So yeah, I agree with that.
And God knows how much stuff is going to be different.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't
It'll
wait.
be
So, but I don't know how to fix that because
I don't think you can with the game like Dota or even League. Like
Yeah.
with a MOBA like that, if you change something, like all of a sudden these people who can only play 4 heroes, if it's not one of those 4 heroes, they're just bad when they were considered gods. Like, it's weird.
and the way Valve operates is like, you know, it's like a small company. The people involved with Dota, like they pull a lot of people in Valve to be a part of TI and the production and everything like that. And you have them do this like kind of exhausting run, and then just immediately you're expecting them to go back and like come up with the new patch. You know, like they just got done trying to master this patch. You know, and I think part of it is like from a balancing perspective, if you have pride in what you've created as a game, then you just had the most possible information you could get on a patch to make it even better. Then, like, of course you're going to want to use that information and make that patch even better. But I don't think you can. I'm not sure if you can really have escalating numbers, like DPC points, based off from the first major to the last major.
And then it'd just be, I don't
Because
think
then
like
that
out of
takes away,
recency
like,
bias.
then it just becomes even more about like, oh, it's all about TI. It's all about the end of the season.
Yeah,
the
the
first
last
6 months don't
majors.
matter.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like,
There
can't
really
do
isn't a
that.
way to fix it, I don't think.
Yeah,
it's just
'cause
weird.
If you fix one thing, then something else becomes a problem, and then
Yes.
they get flamed for that. And why do they never do anything right? They don't care.
Yeah.
When that's clearly not true. They care a lot. It's just
It's hard to
never
show.
enough
Yeah.
for a lot of people, which seems frustrating. Because even you explaining like, you know, we're gonna have a patch soon is a really even keel way of saying it. Like, oh, you know, people work really hard and if they want to make it better. Whereas there's a lot of people on the internet who right now who are like, why don't we have the patch already?
now.
Why
Yeah.
wasn't it yesterday?
People look at Riot and they're like, they announced 4 new games. You can't even give us a new patch.
They announced a sick music video. God, that was terrible too, by the way.
It did
but
take them 10 years to do that.
It did. God.
Yeah, that was a big meme about Riot. Is that they were just a 1-game company, and then all of a sudden,
5 games and out of
we'll
nowhere.
see if any of them are good. I'm sure one of them's got to be good.
I've the FPSs, I have a feeling.
You have a feeling
I
the
have a feeling.
FPS is where it's going to be.
I have a feeling.
Well, I
they're
can
gonna
tell you.
they're gonna take down Overwatch.
That should be easy to do. Anyone who makes a competent game can take down that piece of shit.
Diabolical, baby. It's coming back finally.
I kickstarted
Where's
Diabolical.
James Too Good Harding.
I'm really excited to eventually play the game that I kickstarted when I was an
10
infant.
years, yeah.
I used to love Quake. No, I think the FPS is going to be good. And I used to want to shit on Riot more, but like I'm excited for what they're doing. And I went to their offices,
Oh, me too.
and it's a lot harder to shit on them once you've actually been like, oh man, I could work here. This is really cool.
Yeah, I think that like at least one of those games is gonna be good.
It better be, right? Otherwise, what have they been doing for so
A long time, yeah.
Oh God,
It's true.
But ultimately, at the end of the day, none of us will probably seriously play a lot of it because we're just going to keep on playing Dota.
More than likely, yeah. I play a lot of other games. Like I play a lot of Rocket League right now, a lot of Counter-Strike, I have a lot of classic WoW, like, and I still watch Dota. Like that's the thing. I'm like the opposite of Cap. I think we both spend the same amount of time on Dota. We just do completely opposite things. He likes playing. I like literally just sitting there brain dead watching Dota, just literally drooling while I stare at my screen watching Sumail get a last hit top lane, and I don't know. But it's
the first to 100 CS,
Yep.
baby.
yeah, I don't know.
Triggered me every single time I watch a Grand stream and he does the first to 100 CS.
Is when I'll switch to the net worth graph. Yeah, people get, and then if someone brings it up in chat, I'll move it up even higher to 150. I love
I
punishing
never
people.
say anything in chat, but I'm sitting there going, God damn it, Grant.
It's like 35 minutes in,
Change
like
it
I'm
already.
just talking about like my day at work or something, just sitting there. Yeah,
But it's also, I mean, why people are probably more into you, right? Because you will just sit there and talk about your day at work, and it's not always 100% Dota all the time.
I think so.
Like I enjoy when you talk about being a human sometimes more than just
I think
Dota.
And I think it's mildly relatable that I worked a dead-end job for 9.5 years, and there's people who get off work to watch me stream, and it's kind of the same thing. I'm like, trust me, I know. I was there. Now I'm not. Poor people, see ya. No.
Be like, kiss my feet.
That's another trait we share, Grant, is that we both worked sort of like, we were both in like
normal
dead-end job scenarios. That was something that Trent and I kind of bonded over, is that we've both done like regular work, and so
regular work, yeah. Because I wouldn't say I was dead end. I definitely could have moved up if I wanted. It would have taken a lot of work, and I enjoyed what I did.
You would have led a lot of more cheers.
Exactly, a lot more. No, just working a normal job. Like, it's surprising how many talent like haven't done that. So they're just like, you know, the talent that's always late to get on a shuttle ride. I actually don't have names. Well, Fogged, obviously. I'm willing to say Fogged because that's my boy. Late. Yeah, but no, it's funny. Like us, we're always just early, on time, ready to go. So, you know, working a normal job definitely helped this job be a lot easier. Like the stuff like I get praised for at events, like talent handlers will be like, "You're really easy to take care of," and I'm like, I didn't really do anything, and apparently it's because like I do my own stuff. Yeah, exactly. Like I never ask for anything. I'll like just I don't know. It's
like
super.
Get your own water.
It's just like a normal thing, and I'm like, oh, cool. I love being praised like I'm a 5-year-old. I'll take it. Whatever.
I didn't realize there were like silver spoon talent. We're like, I need to.
I mean, not really.
Not like that. It's more of just like I don't know. Just going to get your own water. Like that's about it. Like it's real little stuff. It's not crazy. It's just funny because I literally asked for nothing, and they're like, "Thanks." I'm like, "For what?" Oh, okay.
I think of the Dota talent for the most part is like pretty evenly keeled. There's no one who's really like, and I'm talking like specifically only people who work in Dota. I think all of those guys, like none of them are really divas too much.
No, that's great.
I think like sometimes some people have gotten like a little bit of ego to them, but you know that eventually gets shut down. I mean, there's always Owen. He's kind of a piece of shit. I know he never does. He's never done a real day of work, and it's like Owen and Sheaves are passing by. I love both of them. They're great people.
Right in the studio. We're actually here.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was like a real Hollywood thing. Like you hear about like, oh, you know, like celebrities, they're impossible. You know, oftentimes you don't think about Dota talent as celebrities, even though you could adequately use that word. But then I started working with some actual Hollywood people at my day job, and I'm like, oh, people are like this.
Yeah, they're a different breed, right?
Yeah.
They just have learned to just be the worst kind of person.
Yeah, Macaulay Culkin likes his coffee a very specific way.
Oh, don't do Macaulay. Don't ruin a childhood hero. Never meet your heroes. Why?
Never meet your heroes. He also doesn't like to go in dunk tanks.
Okay. I mean, is that a celebrity thing, or is that just a normal person who doesn't want to get wet sort of thing?
When you say you're going to do it and then you pull it at the last second because you're scared about your shoes, which, by the way, you can take shoes off.
All right, that's fair. You made a commitment and then you backed down from it. That's fair. Ooh. Can I hear like what? So he like, is it down to the temperature? How?
It's a very specific brand of creamer.
Of creamer, not the coffee, the creamer.
Weird.
It's a very specific brand of creamer.
Okay.
Don't post that on Reddit.
Don't get Joey in trouble,
Don't get
guys.
Macaulay Culkin on us.
Macaulay Culkin's
Culkin will hate Dota too.
Shit. He's going to become a League of Legends franchise owner all because of this.
Him and AOC can go play together. Gosh. Why don't we have congressmen who play Dota? That would be more fun.
Yeah, that's true.
Would it?
I mean, they're terrible people. A lot of terrible people play Dota, so, you know.
I would say the average. I think video games.
Maybe it's better if they stay away from Dota. Then again, I'm a little bit surprised that some Congress people aren't already playing Dota because they're terrible people. So, you know.
I think that because we said Congress and because we said Congress, people are like, politics immediately, like abort, and we just
go.
Like everyone just
oh shit,
stopped.
We're about to get top 10 in politics too. Hell yes.
I don't know if I told you we broke top 20 last time we did something. Isn't that crazy? I literally don't know how podcasts work or like why people think that but they're like, oh wow, you're doing good on the leisure charts, or people are listening on Apple Podcasts. So now we can attribute that
the leisure group.
It's thank you everybody for actually like listening or pressing the follow button, because it's actually rewarding to see the numbers go up, I guess.
Of course.
I guess.
I mean, definitely. I mean, I still love seeing my sub numbers and my viewer numbers go up when I'm streaming. Like, it just feels good. Like, when you're watching a stream, you're at 2,000, and then you're casting a game, and at the end of the game, you turn in, you have 5,000. You're like, damn, I did something right. That feels good. Best feel in the world.
And dude, what about the feels? How often do you go and see the numbers have gone down?
I mean, I don't stream much, so honestly, my numbers have gone only up like the last year. So sorry, Kev, I can't comment on
This is how I
failure.
know I'm a bad streamer. I go and sometimes I'm like, oh, the numbers went down. Yeah, I guess I haven't talked for like an hour. That's probably not a good thing. I've only talked when it comes to yelling at my allies. Yeah, that's probably not a real great environment to be a part of.
When I look at your stream cap, when I tune in, I always want to like be in your room and just tilt your camera down a little bit.
Oh yeah, because I'm like lounging out.
You're lounging and you like don't have a chin, and I'm like, dude, come on. I appreciate that I can see all of your bookshelf.
Yeah.
Your entire bookshelf is just perfectly in like that IKEA model. But
I got a question. Do you think my stream would lose viewership or gain or be neutral if I took off my webcam? I'm curious, how big are webcams on streams?
I think it depends on the personality. So for example, I will take a streamer who recently has not been using his webcam, and I do not watch a lot of streamers. Let me put that out there. Okay. Again, I pretty much only want to watch Dota, but I like watching Moon as a streamer, and I've been watching him a lot lately because he's playing Left 4 Dead 2.
Oh yeah.
And that's like one of my all-time favorite games. I used to play that competitively. I loved it. It was so much fun. And he doesn't have a webcam. Yeah. Hasn't had a webcam for a little while now. And for me, it's okay because he shows enough of his personality and he talks enough.
Yeah.
So I don't think turning off the webcam would affect you, because I think you're really good about constantly being entertaining and also always talking. For me, I don't talk for I can go 20 minutes and not say a word on my stream sometimes. So the webcam helps remind people that I'm still there.
Oh, there he is.
That you're breathing.
No, he's definitely
09 is
very
ABBA.
focused on this game, dying a lot, but
He said Fisher, and that's the only thing he said all game. Like, wow.
Take it.
You should try it. Or just put a picture of yourself up there, a still picture, and see if anyone notices that it's not moving for how long.
Yeah, the new GrandGrant Joker.
Oh, I still gotta make that an emote. I gotta get my boys to make it. God, my emotes are terrible.
Is it you don't have to really worry about your stream numbers because you can do casting
Yeah, I mean I like to, because obviously I'm signed by EG, but I mean they're not looking over my shoulder like, oh, below 1,000, huh, Grant? Well, you're a piece of shit and you're fired. No, they're very hands off and chill. I mean, the best part about it, I didn't expect it. I couldn't get my visa to China to go to TI here. So I had to go back home to Colorado, and apparently I had to fly to the office in Chicago, and EG just paid for everything for me, took me out there, flew me out there, and helped me get my visa. I was like, that was great. I could not do that by myself.
That's incredibly nice.
Yeah, I would have just been lost. It was super confusing. I got turned down once because I didn't have the right paperwork, but I did, and I went back, and they just accepted it. It was real weird, but
Chinese visas aren't super easy. Because you get to go to, you've been going to China multiple times a year for the last couple of years. Do you still have a visa every time, or have you been able to do
I got my 10-year visa the very first time. Because I was in Germany at the time. So obviously that was a little weird scenario, right? I'm an American applying for a Chinese visa in Germany. They're like, all right, this guy probably travels a lot. And they're like, if he can go from living in America to living in Germany, I'm sure he's, not really a flight risk. He's not going to overstay his visa and do whatever.
I don't think I've ever been as scared as I was when I was trying to enter Shanghai for the first time with my visa. I just have this vivid memory of the lady. She was a visa worker, and she was just staring directly through me. And I'm like, hi.
Where were you going to Shanghai for?
I went to the Blizzard World Championship for StarCraft in 2013.
Damn.
I think it's press.
So back there, yeah.
So Blizzard paid for my flight, and that was the first time I was ever out internationally.
Wow.
I was in a car with I think Hotbit helped a lot because he speaks some of the language.
Yep.
Yeah.
And without him and a couple other people, we would have been even more lost. Would have been like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, that is always one of the things that I don't like going to China for. CIS is pretty good because like you'll always be able to find somebody who speaks English, but you start going into like mainland China and you start going like outside of your hotel, and it could be kind of hard to like work your way around.
Do you ever go walking around by yourself in places like that, or do you just like stick with a group of people? Like,
no,
do you just like do?
So Grant, I'm actually curious for you. So I'm kind of an introvert.
Yeah. I am too.
We've bonded over this actually. The fact that like both of us like we go to these events and we spend time with people, and it's kind of like draining, so we just need to like get the fuck away from people and just like go into our hotel room and just like watch be TV, by ourselves. That but you said you've always liked to talk.
I know.
And so you've just always kind of been this way, but you're also an introvert?
It's weird.
You're a complex person.
I think I was more of an extrovert when I was a kid. I have no clue why, and then I became more of an introvert. I mean, I'm still that. I don't know what I am actually.
I mean, everybody's a mix.
Middle.
So
yeah.
Everyone's a mix.
No, yeah.
Everyone's what's called an ambivert, I believe.
It's actually funny though. You talk about like, do you ever walk around alone? The one place I walked around alone, I was told not to. It was for the second epicenter, and it was in Russia, and it was the nicest. Like, they're like, yeah, you probably shouldn't go outside. And I went and I like ran a mile outside every night. It was the nicest people I'd ever met. And like, I was like, that's really weird. They told me not to. Like, people were super nice. I
3 other talent did get stabbed, but you
but I was good. Everyone was nice to me. They're like, hey, you great running form.
I attended the third epicenter, and I also went running out there. And that was the one where I really busted. I sprained
that was
my
the one
ankle,
I was at.
like,
No, that was
bad.
It was the third one. Oh, I thought it was second. I don't remember.
Wait, you were at that? Wait,
I was at the one you sprained your ankle. I was 100% there because that was when I won the casting competition.
You in the casting competition.
Scam the casting competition. No, I'm just kidding.
Did you guys get paid?
Yeah,
poorly for that event.
I don't think
you already said yes.
I mean, we got underpaid because we went as under talent, right? Like, we've won a contest, so it was cool that we got to be there, which it was. I mean, I think that secured my invite to TI. So if I didn't do it, I probably wouldn't have been at TI. So I thought that was cool. But yeah,
it paid in clout.
It did. It actually did. Like, clout is a currency. Trust me, I've seen the Twitch streamers, and I need more of it.
To back Grant up what he was saying, when I hurt my ankle, I could not walk on it. Like, I really screwed it up really badly. Three random Russian people, two girls and one guy, helped me and helped me hobble my way all the way back to the hotel. Super nice. Couldn't speak any English, but they just helped me out. Yeah. So
that would never happen in LA.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I can assure you.
People literally walking over me.
Yeah, they look down at you. Oh yeah, LA, San Fran, never again.
I think San Francisco's actually worse. I watched a lady eat shit on a bird 2 weeks ago in LA, and I'm like, oh my God, are you okay? Like, can I help you? Like, is everything, like, are you okay? She's like, get away from me, you're weird. That's exactly. She's, get away from me, you're weird. And I'm like, you're bleeding. I'm just trying to be a decent. Like, okay, I'll walk away. I'm sorry.
LA's a little bit more like New York than I expected moving down here.
I've only been to Manhattan once, so I don't really think I have that experience.
People are more unfriendly than I expected.
Yeah.
I thought it was sunny Los Angeles. Everyone's in a good mood. You're going to see actors and actresses walking around. I expected the opposite, where everyone's going to have a fake smile on at all times. And like,
everyone's just angry, though.
Let me just say, the acting classes that I've been taking, I meet some of those people who are acting. Oh, God, now that's what I expected. Fucking fake smiles and like fake conversation going on at all times. I attended this workshop, okay? There was like 16 of us in a room, and we're all just sitting there for like 10-15 minutes. Nobody knows each other, okay? In any other circumstance, we would all just be silent, doing our own thing, playing on our phones. But in this circumstance, because they're all actors and they all need to fucking network with each other and like subtly name drop and shit, they are all talking to each other. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm like, what the hell? I was like, do any of you guys know each other? No.
You're taking acting classes, but you're not the one being cast as the Joker, so I think actually you might be the one doing it wrong.
Yeah, sorry.
That's true. I mean, Grant's just got that natural talent. I've got to grind in everything that I do.
Were all their conversations fake, or are they just being normal people? Maybe you're the weirdo.
No, dude. There was definitely real fake? It was some. I saw some like subtle, not so subtle name dropping all the time. And the
Like
reason
Macaulay Culkin over here.
yeah,
I would-
Macaulay
I didn't
Culkin
wanna-
over here.
I didn't want to.
It could have been anyone else. I needed an example. I could have done someone else. Like, I mean, The Rock. His coffee. Oof. God.
Okay, so to back this up real quickly, the reason I know that it was like fake is that I know my personality. I will admit to this. I'm a chameleon. I will absorb a little bit of the personality of the people that I'm around. So around like Grant and Slacks, I get a little bit more out there.
Yeah.
I pick up on some of their mannerisms. When I'm around other people, I'll be a lot more quiet and stuff. Yeah. And so like I subtly name dropped. I didn't even mean to. It came out my mouth, and I was just like, "What the hell?" I was like,
What have I done?
What am I becoming?" And I was just like, "What?"
Who did you name drop?
It wasn't like a real name drop. I attended a class with some other like a teacher, and she's
people
actually,
need to know.
She's actually done TV and stuff, and
Okay.
so she actually attended the class because she's older. She's like mid-50s, but she's interested in doing anime because more work is more work, so might as well. And it was an anime dubbing workshop. That's what it was for.
You went to an anime dubbing work?
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna be the voice of some anime.
Dude, hell yeah.
Or at least that's the hope.
How do you? So like, I feel like you're part of the reason why you're doing this right has to be because eventually you might need another job or something else to sustain yourself.
Oh yeah, I'm always worried about my future.
Cool. Yeah.
So
Are you worried about your future, Grant?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I think it's not as bad for me because I literally could just go back to Walmart. I keep in touch with my actual upper boss. So I still talk to him like on a friendly basis. The question is like, how long is it gonna go? I don't know. I'm actually not that worried. The more I think about it, like sometimes you just get on a plane and you're just in your own thoughts for 9 hours and you're like, what am I doing with my life? I'm talking about a video game. Like this is just gonna end, and then I get off the plane like, why was I freaking out? I'm having a great time.
Yeah, live in the moment.
I'm living the moment. I know my future. Like, who knows, right? No one knows their future.
I think
it's real deep here.
Like depending on your perspective, I look at Grant and it's like he should be the most worried about his future because he could go back to Walmart, but then also like
I enjoy Walmart, so it doesn't.
Yeah,
hurt.
you like the kind of personality you are.
Yeah.
I know you'll just be like happy wherever you are, but also like you have a very successful stream.
Yeah,
and I think that's something that is proven isn't going away because you're not one of those people that has to stream all the time. Like you just like stream when you want basically, and like you still get lots of people, so you've got that kind of like solid foundation.
Yeah.
So if like you stop getting hired for events. Yeah. I was going to ask you this. Do you think you make less money working some of these events? Because I know people with big streams do worry about that, like having to go to events and like losing their sub counts and stuff.
I guess. That's why I never want to be in that position because I never want to make my I enjoy doing my stream, but like to have it be my job, like I don't know, it'd just be terrible. Like with the whole drama that just happened with the offline TV group or whatever. Like, do you really want your name and face like that? But that's getting like those people are getting more viewers because that. Do you really want to like be dependent on drama to raise like what you are?
Dr. Disrespect cheats on his wife. Look at that, he's bigger than ever. Like I mean, it's pretty consistent.
It's
in
just
the
drama, and I don't want that like out of a job. Like I want to have fun. If I have to worry about like, okay, who am I going to start drama with next? Like I actually think like that's really the only way to like grow your stream nowadays. It's kind of sad.
It is, and also just from the streamers who I talk to or who are like moderately successful, have to do it all the time. It can be very not happy too.
It's not.
You just like, oh, well, time to wake up and do a 10-hour broadcast and then not have a day and then go to bed and then do it tomorrow and then do it for 10 more years and then do it forever and then it almost falls in the same trap of what is my 10-year plan if I'm just streaming all the time.
That's some real DJ Khaled stuff over there.
Suffering from
success right now.
God.
Gotta keep streaming.
I also,
but it's a real thing. You gotta keep streaming
No,
because you don't know when that money's gonna go away.
In December, I've already said I'm not doing any events. I'm actually gonna stream a shitload, and we're gonna see. The thing is, I'm not used to running ads, and I don't know. I should just run ads between games.
You gotta find a funny way to do it. Like if you structure it, if you have like a reason where people can get excited for the ads, that's when you'll be winning.
Well, I think it's okay because I literally have to. I have to run ads for my EG clause, but they tell them like I can clown on them. Like I can clown on EG and be like they're making me run ads, which is cool. But like you got to think of better ways to do it, as you say. Yeah, it's true.
Make people like the ads, and then suddenly, boom, you're in the money.
What even is the Jack Ryan one still popular? Which one was that? Like, I'm not a the philanthropist or something. Well, you know
No,
which one I'm talking about, right? I don't even know about.
Oh yeah,
I'm
I
not a
can't go to Russia.
scientist or whatever. Yeah.
I'm an analyst.
Yeah, that. Oh my god.
I'm only human after all. Every single time the song starts,
Dude, those were great.
The boss guy goes, "Get on the plane. I'm only human after all."
You're just proving
It
that.
gets stuck on my head every single time. Blitz and I.
I mean, I use that. I use ads. I legitimately have never seen ads. I've never used BT TV. I don't download extra stuff, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say that like I don't know what you're talking about because I do use AdBlock on Twitch.
I do. I ain't even mad. Whatever.
It's fine,
God
right?
damn it, Grant! Both of our lives is dependent on people
Yeah.
not using AdBlock.
I'll sub you to make up for it. Don't worry.
Dude,
Then we're even.
You're gonna get that.
Nice.
You're gonna get a sweet $250 a month. Thanks, Twitch, for
gotcha.
taking half.
Yeah.
Really
I
appreciate
mean,
that.
that's way more than I'm making off of ads. Let me tell you that right now.
But it's all
Really?
gonna change. Jimmy's great, right?
I mean, I don't play ads. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. When I
I don't have a sponsor that I have to play ads
True.
for. So.
I guess I mean I didn't the first time I did TI, like the open qualifiers, and I actually ran 10 minutes of ads over a 12-hour stream, and I made a good chunk of money. I was super surprised. I was like, well, I mean, I was over 10,000 viewers, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then I was like, well, that's pretty cool, but I couldn't do it. I don't know. I don't like hitting that ad button. It's not like it's hard, right? As you said, you could just say an excuse, but I don't know.
Hey everybody, I need to eat today, so
I'm going to run ads. Yeah, it's true.
thank you for putting up with this bullshit. I want Taco Bell or to live because I have to pay rent.
Yep.
Yeah, it's such a grind that I couldn't imagine being beholden to it.
Yeah.
It just seems scary. Are you looking at the time?
I am.
The time says
I was
1:15.
curious.
We can do the thing where we wrap up.
An
I don't know
hour
like
and
an
15
elegant
minutes.
way to get there. I can't start or stop. It's really
That's fine.
I
I
don't
can talk
know.
all day, as you've learned. I love talking. I actually, Cap was one looking at the time. He's probably worried about me. I don't give a shit.
I was
I'm just
worried
talking.
about
I'm having
you.
a great time.
I was like, so did you enjoy being on the podcast, Grant?
Yeah, I did. I mean,
Nice.
because it's just, I mean, talking with you as a friend, talking with somebody who's, just fun. You're a fun guy.
I'll take fun. That's yeah. I'll run around in circles. I'll take fun all day.
Because I've been interviewed by people who just want to do interview questions. They don't really want to talk, and it's nice when you actually want to conversate.
What's your favorite tree?
Probably
Oh,
willow. Probably
Willow?
willows. I like
Great.
willows.
Yeah. Okay.
I asked my
I actually
stream
love willows.
if they could come up with any questions for you, and
What'd
they're
you
all
get?
just garbage. They were all garbage.
Let me guess.
questions. They were
Wang
all
size.
terrible.
There's usually wang size.
Yeah,
I mean, I do the
yeah,
same
yeah,
thing.
there's
I'll
all
answer
those
3
questions.
questions, no matter what they are, and it's always the same 3.
Wait, so you answer your wang size on stream
Every time. Not saying it's true or not, but I answer it. Yeah.
all right. But the only question I thought was actually good. What are the top 3 living rappers right now in your
Living?
mind? Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? That I consider the best?
Yeah, just
for me?
whatever. Yeah.
Can
for
I
you.
say Lil Nas X 3 times?
Yeah, if you want.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
no
that
one
was-
cares about your opinion,
Oh,
but
well,
I'm,
fuck, hold on. I'm gonna put the mic down. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go to the bathroom.
I don't know. For me, it's probably like Pusha T, Kevin Gates, and I don't really have. I would say E40, I guess, because he's still technically alive, even though he's not making new. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People making truly new music. But
Yeah.
I mean, even DMX, I would obviously put him number 1, but he's not making new music. So
Yeah.
probably those 3.
Unless he's making it out of rehab right now.
Yeah, he's living the tough one.
Shout out to DMX.
Yep.
If
Trying to.
You guys got a problem? Don't be afraid to go see some help.
Yeah, it's true.
DMX can do it. You can do it.
I
Hear
feel
that,
like
Joey?
I'm pretty decent with pop culture, but my knowledge of the rap sphere is chronically low.
Well, he just checked himself into rehab, so.
Yeah, and I can tell you, the other guys I said, Kevin Gates, he's been on record for saying he would fuck his cousin. He had a dog lick a stripper's booty hole. And the other one was
Well,
the guy
that's
who got
normal,
famous
right?
off of dissing Drake. Not got famous. He was already very, very popular, but that's what he was biggest for now. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, we name dropped Post Malone, and,
Yeah.
and like we talked about Khaled. Like, I mean, that's a person whose one name I can't say right, and
Dude,
two
it
hates
was
women, right?
last
Something like
league
that.
Tournament, right? The big league
Oh
tournament.
no, it was the
DJ Khaled's
Overwatch tournament.
dude.
That is.
Oh, God.
I don't really like
was a
cringe
terrible
videos.
moment.
Like I feel like the word cringe has lost all meaning
Where you
in,
actually,
in,
like,
in
look
like
away
in
from
like
the
a Twitch
screen,
sphere. Yeah.
True cringe is very hard to watch, and that
Yeah.
was up there for
Yeah.
me. I don't know.
We've
Yeah, to
changed the
look
word
away.
cringe to mean like I don't like that joke or
Yes.
you tried at something but it's bad, or like you produce something.
Look at him. Yeah. It's
But-
it's literally like look at him trying to be funny.
Yeah, but
Cringe.
exactly. So I kind of hate the word cringe, but I don't know a better word to describe that
What that
Overwatch video.
I
No,
would say
that's
that
true
was
cringe.
legitimate cringe.
Yeah, like something that physically hurt me to watch.
And that goes back to the very first thing we talked about. I'm always so nervous about doing something like that in front of a live audience and just like it actually being cringe, like legitimate. Like people are just like uncomfortable. Oh God, what a.
But
I'm
you never worry
cringe,
about that
cringy.
with your Twitch viewers?
No, I don't give a shit. Well, I mean, I really, and I don't know why, right? Because it's, I mean, just people, but I still do. I just say shit, whatever.
As someone who, before an hour ago literally has never talked to you in person, I would have assumed that you might have been okay with the cringe. Or like I feel like if there was anyone who I would say like,
Yeah.
oh, they're okay bombing because they don't necessarily care about the audience, I'd
Yeah.
be like, Grant can probably get through really strong. He's been through so much shit that like surely
Yeah, I
he can
think
deal with it.
like that's the thing that it's hard to deal with. Like people flaming me online, I don't care. Like I used to love taking blame and getting flamed. Like say it would be like a me Sumail Fear stream and they would say something dumb, I would usually just take the blame. Like I would say something stupid to take because I'm used to doing it. Like if like a 15-year-old Sumail got flamed, we might not have got a great player, but instead people are calling me a moron and I can deal with it. Literally, I do not care what people say about me. Obviously, I downvote the negative opinions and upvote the positive ones, but besides that.
But that's just good PR.
Yeah, obviously. Obviously.
Let me ask you guys actually real quickly.
I do that,
between the three of you,
That's what you're
do you guys have a separate Reddit account, or have you ever considered it?
No.
Okay.
GrandGrant, when people say that's GrandGrant's fate, no, I've only used my account. Same with NA Dota.
I mean, I
As a
can probably
mod?
get in trouble
As it-
for the alternate.
I mean, your situation's a little bit different because
Yeah.
it's like,
So-
as a Reddit mod, maybe sometimes you don't want to be.
I don't have a my alternate account is probably even more SJW slanted than my normal one because
okay.
I don't like the people who flame me for like trying to be a little bit progressive. So if I know that I'm going to say something that people will give me shit for, I have a different account that I'm like, hey, you're being shitty. I don't want to like chastise you from like a position of authority.
Yeah,
but, like
yeah,
I want
that's
to
fair.
chastise you as a human because you're being shitty. I have that.
Okay.
There's
What
like
about you,
3 or
Cal?
4.
No, never.
Never?
I've.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I like lightly considered it at one point in time, like whenever there was like. Maybe some tournament was really shitty. You know, I
and
just
you
wanted to like,
yeah.
I just wanted
Fume
to leak.
about it.
Like,
yeah.
whistle
I
blow?
like or like something that I felt was unacceptable was happening, but me as a person could not say it.
Yeah.
But if I could just like do some LGD Ame fan type shit,
Yeah.
like I've considered it in that regard, but I've never considered it in any other time. But I was just curious because I do. Never mind.
Sometimes
I
you
know
wa-
there's somebody in the scene who does that, so
Yeah.
I was just
there's
curious what
plenty.
you-
I'm
what
sure
you-
there's plenty of
I know
people.
people do.
Yeah.
One of the
that's
first
true.
days I was
You're
saying
the Reddit mod. Dish out the.
the first time that I hung out with Slacks for more than like 20 minutes, he's like,
Uh-huh.
"Do you want to know the name of my alternate account?"
Yeah, but but Slack's alternate account, I can't imagine is for any of the
Much
normal
different,
human
yeah.
reasons that most of us do it. You know,
Sure, yeah.
like everybody considers it to like upvote or downvote stuff, or to like respond to like negative things being said to that person, or plant fake comments, positive comments about themselves, or
There's
or
whole
something
industries
like that.
based around that.
Yeah.
There's literally industries based around.
But I can't
like,
imagine Slacks does that with his alternate account, does he?
I mean, I'm not gonna fully dish on the guy. I would need an alternate account to talk about his alternate account so that I can like have some level of separation.
Okay.
Yeah. He said he'd hang out with us and do this, and now he's gonna. Well, he's never gonna listen to this. Let's be honest. But like,
That's true. He's not viewing the top 20 leisure podcasts, so you know.
he should be. Everyone should be.
I am gonna close this podcast down, in part because
You have to
Grant,
work.
did you order food?
I think so.
Okay, well the food is
A
here,
burger?
and I don't want Grant's food to get cold, and I also
shouldn't
don't
get
want
cold.
my food to get cold.
It shouldn't get cold. You should also be ready to actually do casting tonight because you're here to
Yeah,
do a
fuck it.
night shift.
Yeah, we are, aren't we?
That's what
I've
we're
just
here
been sitting
for.
in a hotel room for 5 days, literally losing my mind. No, I'm just kidding. I love the solitude.
Well, thanks everybody for. Do you want to try doing like the whole the whole telling people the things they can do? Do you want to am I putting a ball in a tee and then you're gonna like swing at it and then be like, why'd you make me do that?
That's not my job, Joey.
Well, what platforms are you on?
Well, thanks,
We're on
Grant.
all the podcast platforms.
You can listen to us on all the podcast platforms. Spotify and Apple Podcasts are the people that do the most. Like, so if you follow us on the feed, it really helps. And if you have the time for the Apple Podcast to leave a review, it genuinely really does help. Everyone says it, and you're probably like,
What if it's a 1-star
that's bullshit.
review?
Don't do that. It's only, you can.
Only good reviews
It
if
can
you
only be
leave
good
them.
reviews. If you want to leave a bad review.
Let me just say, by the way, saying that, I always
Oh,
get
you're
that
getting
thing.
ones.
No. That always makes me think of like, oh, we should get every vote out there. Like, are you sure?
Yeah.
Like, do we want all the votes? Are you sure you want the vote that actually cancels out your vote? Is that
If we get enough positive ones.
So don't cancel out those 5-star reviews.
Yeah, please don't. Just only 5 stars. It helps. We'll read them on the show sometimes. We'll literally send you stuff. I printed out some of those some of the Dopa paintings or
Oh,
pictures
yeah,
that he
yeah,
did.
yeah.
So I think we're gonna send those out to people who like left good reviews because
And
we're
we'll,
literally bribing people. I don't know what the ethics are for that. We're literally bribing people to give us good reviews.
We'll also read out some of your comments. This time, next time, I'm gonna pick out the comments.
You're gonna
'cause
pick out the
They're all about.
I tried
they're
to
all
pick.
about Joey.
I picked out a nice
Every
one for
single-
you. I'll try and find.
Yeah. Okay.
I have more alternate accounts on Apple Podcasts than I do on Reddit.
Is there anything else?
If you don't want to listen to us, you can watch us on YouTube
Yes.
because you can only watch
Maybe not this podcast.
part of
but-
it on YouTube. You can watch the first 15 minutes are beautiful. The other hour I'm gonna find something to do with.
See, Joey was literally responsible for every other part of the podcast, and the camera was the one part that I accepted responsibility on, and I
You just
failed
not
on
charge
that.
it?
So
Or?
probably, I probably didn't charge it enough.
Yeah, I saw you charging it when I came in. If I didn't know
I was
if you
like,
didn't
I should
charge it
probably
before.
charge it a little bit more, just in case.
It's okay. Next time I'll get the camera. It'll be fine. We'll go back to it. I'll just,
This is why Joey's responsible for the outro.
that's why you're doing the acting
intro.
classes. I'm doing the producing
He's
stuff.
responsible for setting up this entire thing. He writes the outline for the podcast. He coordinates with Blink for us.
Yeah.
You pretty much do everything for this podcast. I just show up.
I'll just keep doing the producing stuff. It's great. Thank you for being here and having people listen. Thank you, Grant, for taking the time to sit down with us.
Yeah, thanks. Grant.
Mostly agreeing to for Cap to be like, yeah, I'll talk to that other weird person in you.
Yeah, no problem.
Is there anything that you want to
No,
do,
just-
to do the plugging for and
No,
be
just
like?
follow me on Twitter and Twitch. That's about it.
Twitch.tv/GrandGrant
on any of them.
You got to
Yep.
get that clout.
Yep, I do need to get an Instagram. I feel that is where the highest form of clout is, but I still haven't yet. We'll see.
It's my least favorite social media.
That is the best social media for the dating game. So
I got to get on it.
Yeah.
Cap knows. Oh, this
You're
is the
about-
thing. I know we were ending it, but yeah, when I said I hit age 30, that's when I'm going to actively start looking for a girlfriend.
I wasn't actually going to bring that up. but
I need to. I mean,
so you're 29 now,
Yep,
right? Both you and I
I
are
am
the
a
same.
420 baby, so on 420.
Watch
That's
out,
the day my
ladies.
mom will finally actually be proud of me or something. I don't know.
You're gonna
Okay.
blaze it on Bumble. You'll be like,
Yep.
"Oh, this is great." I recommend Hinge if it's still if you wait until Hinge.
Okay.
Hit Hinge.
So you got to start it real soon. You got to
Yeah.
start your Instagram real soon because you got to start prepping
Building
it.
the cloud.
Yeah, building the cloud because in 5 months' time you're gonna be back in the game.
Is it cheating if you grab a girlfriend from the scene though? Like, is it cooler if you get someone who isn't Dota related?
Let me say, if I was ever single again, real quickly, I would. I
will
don't
not
think I
date
would date
Dota.
in the scene. No,
I don't think I will either.
the scene is way too incestuous.
Yeah, it seems kind of gross. I only hear like third-hand stories, but I'm like, oh, okay, you guys do that, sure, okay.
It's just too weird, too awkward, too.
And Dota is kind of my thing. I don't want to go
Yeah.
home and see my significant other playing Dota. Honestly, I want that to be my thing.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's weird, but I enjoy it being
No,
my thing.
I think that's fine.
My girlfriend plays Dota, and I like that. But she could just as easily play League of Legends because we don't play together.
Yeah.
So that
Seems healthy.
I can't do that. I can't play. I can't play Dota 2 with somebody that I love. That would just turn out real badly.
Yeah, you're like trying to go get the ice from the fridge, and you're like, I can't believe you missed that Echo Slam. Everything's ruined. I'm sleeping on the couch tonight.
We played Dota 2 together in a group with some of her friends, and of course, like, they know who I am, and it's like, so they know I'm pretty good at the game. But the problem is that like everyone was so low skill. I have an on and off switch. There's no in between. There's no dimmer when it comes to my try hard ability. So it's either I'm going in and I'm there to win, or it's totally off and I'm just there to goof around.
Did you
And
carry
so
that game?
no, absolutely not. I was there to clown
Goof?
around because
Yeah.
I knew I couldn't. If my try hard
Carry four of
switch,
them, yeah.
then I would get like irritated with people and stuff, and like that obviously is not good when you're just trying to. Like, we were just dating at that point in time.
Yeah.
So that's not a time to, like, you know,
Yeah, you want to be
yell
like
at
fun
her
in public.
friends. Like, that's not a good time for that. So, and then her friends walked away and were like, what the hell? I thought that guy was supposed to be good. Like, that guy just threw our game. And I'm just here to have fun.
Hey, everybody, please like me. Thanks, y'all. Thanks for being here. I think you should actually go get your food. You don't want to have that bad Postmates order.
Thank you, Joey, for coming out here.
No.
Yes, thank you.
To the BTS.
I'm glad that we
studios
did
to
it
record
late
this.
because the traffic was easier.
Yeah, the traffic's going to be real easy when you go back.
I look forward to it.
Hopefully. It was when I left the hotel, the whole freeway was backed up, so I don't know which way you're going, but apparently they shut it down. Legitimately, the one right by my hotel, I don't know what it is.
Oh, great. It's probably the 210.
I don't think it was. What is the other big one?
134?
The 134?
Maybe
That would
is
be
the
really far
210.
away
I
if
don't
you
know
were
either
staying-
of those two, so. Now, one of them was literally closed down going one way, so hopefully not.
And with that, we're going to close out the podcast in a cycle. We started one of our podcasts talking about LA traffic, and now this podcast will end on LA traffic. Thanks for watching or
Beep.
listening.
Beep, beep.